Okay, so here's the thing about the fact that you're feeling lonely. I don't think that you are actually lonely. I think you're just finally starting to notice that you are actually alone. And that might sound a little harsh at first, but stay with me here. Because what if the feeling you've been trying to escape is actually something you were supposed to be understanding? Think about it. From the moment you got here, it's always been just you. I mean, unless you're a twin, you came into this world by yourself. And even if you grew up in a house full of people, siblings, cousins, friends down the street, there were still moments where it was just you. Like going to class. You could walk into school with your siblings, sit on the bus together, laugh in the hallway, eat breakfast together, but when that bell rings, you still had your own seat, your own desk, your own name on that paper, your own classroom to walk to. Nobody could take that test for you. Nobody can think for you. Nobody can be you. And that never really changes. We just grow up and expect it to feel different. Somewhere along the way, we start believing that being surrounded by people means we won't feel alone anymore. I mean, unfortunately, that's not true, and it's never going to be, because you can be in a room full of people and still feel like nobody is really with you. And I think that's the part that hurts or makes us feel so lonely. Not the fact that you're alone, but the expectation that you weren't supposed to be. I spent a lot of time alone as a child. Not in a poetic way, not in I was finding myself kind of way. Just alone, on punishment, in my room. Not locked in, but not really allowed to leave either. Bathroom, dinner, school, that was it. And at that time, it didn't feel like something that was building me. It felt like this was my life. But that space, that silence that I was given, it gave me something I didn't realize I was getting. Time. Time to think, time to feel, time to be able to sit with myself as a 8, 9, 10-year-old child. That's when I started bringing home bigger books from the library. Not because I was trying to be smarter, but because I needed somewhere to go. And when there's nowhere else to go physically, your mind starts to travel. And I think that's where a lot of us are right now. Not physically stuck, but mentally searching. Searching to feel something that might not actually be meant to be filled. Because here's the truth. There's no reason to be afraid of being alone. Because at the end of the day, you already are. And I don't mean that in a sad way. I mean that in a real way. Even when you zoom out, like really zoom out, we're on a planet, right? Floating in space, surrounded by things we don't fully understand, distances we can't even comprehend or still learning to comprehend, and somehow we expect to never feel alone. Maybe the goal was never to avoid it. Maybe the goal was to understand it. That's why I think having something to believe in matters. You know, not in a forced way, not in a you have to follow this kind of way, but just something. Because when you believe in something bigger than you, it changes the way alone feels. And then there's community. Not just being around people, but being around people who actually see you. And self-awareness. Knowing who you are. Even when nobody else is around to remind you. For me, having faith, community, and being self-aware, that's what makes me feel less alone. Not the absence of like being by myself, but the understanding of it. Because maybe you're not trying to escape loneliness. Maybe you're trying to make sense of it all. And if that's the case, you're not actually as alone as you think. I don't know. That's just where loneliness sits with me right now. But what about you? Do you prefer to be alone but hate being lonely? Or do you realize everything that I just said, but I've never just said it out loud? And if you've made it all the way here and you've been listening the entire time, you're not just listening. You are a grateful heart, and I appreciate you. I'm thankful that you're here. I love you. I'll sit with you in the next one. Peace.